The NFL draft has been completed. We've gone through the weekend of the NFL draft, and what a draft it was. Tons of big moves, tons of big trades, some players who fell, some big reaches in the NFL draft. It was a fun weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed watching all 3 days of the NFL draft like I did. Now, we got to start talking about my favorite drafts from these NFL teams. Which NFL teams stood out and had the best drafts? This week, we're going to talk about 3 teams that I think had the 3 best drafts this past weekend. I'm Hutchinson Brown from Footballguys. I'm at TYFMNFL on Twitter. And before I get into these 3 teams, I want to make sure you all subscribe to the Footballguys YouTube channel. Click that notifications bell so you will be notified every single time a new piece of content made by either me or one of my amazing teammates over here at Footballguys posts on this channel. So without further ado, let's kick it off with my number 3 team, the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to do a countdown here from 3 to 2 to 1. The Baltimore Ravens had a great NFL draft. Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbaum in the first round. Excellent picks by them, and they both got some nice values there. Tyler Linderbaum falling out to the top 25. Kyle Hamilton at 14. Pretty great values there for them. They really got some nice pieces. They added on in day 2 with David Ojabo, and Travis Jones, the defensive tackle. And day 3 while I'm recording this, day 3 is currently happening. So I don't know all the players they've gotten, but what I've seen so far is they've added some pretty nice pieces as well in the later rounds, some really interesting players. So Baltimore Ravens had a great draft. Unfortunately, had to give up Marquise Brown, which leaves their wide receiver room pretty questionable. I mean, if Rashad Bateman really takes that next step, like this draft is going to look really good for Baltimore. But if Rashad Bateman doesn't really take that step and they're left with the receiving core they have, that looks like a lot of trouble for Baltimore. They're going to have to look wide receiver next offseason or even potentially for a trade during the season. I know there are a lot of receivers right now that are not happy with their NFL teams, including Deebo Samuel and Terry McLaurin, because they're not getting contracts they want. So we'll have to see what the Ravens do wide receiver this NFL offseason or maybe during the NFL season. So number 2 team here, want to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, my home team. The Eagles had a spectacular draft. I mean, trading for A.J. Brown with a third round pick and the 18th overall pick, slam dunk there. Slam dunk trade. He's worth at least 2 firsts. He's a superstar wide receiver. So we got him with the 18th overall pick. We traded that away along with a 3rd rounder. We got Jordan Davis. We traded up to get him at 13th overall. Really, I don't know if they necessarily needed to trade up to get him, but they only gave up 2 extra picks, and they were pretty later picks. So the Eagles did what they needed to do, get their guy, make sure they get him. And I really love Jordan Davis. Standing at, it's 340 pounds, running a 4.8, 240. Like, dudes, even if he doesn't, develop the perfect techniques, he's a matchup nightmare for offensive lines. He's just a matchup nightmare. And we even saw him take a goal line rush attempt in Georgia in this past season. He took a goal line rush attempt and took advantage of it and got in the end zone. So Jordan Davis is just going to be a big problem. He's just so humongous and has amazing speed. And he's going to be able to work with Fletcher Cox. I love that. And then in day 2, Jacoby Dean in the 3rd round and Cam Jurgens, probably the replacement for Jason Kelce when he retires. I really like that. And Jacoby Dean in the 3rd, a guy that a lot of people had going in the 1st round, a very quick, versatile linebacker. I mean, that's just an excellent pick there. Excellent pick by the Eagles in the 3rd round. I thought they should have taken him in the 2nd round. I was pretty disappointed when they didn't, but the Eagles knew something because he fell all the way to them in the 3rd round. And then my favorite draft from this past weekend is the Jets. The New York Jets had an excellent draft. I just see pretty much no flaws with their draft so far with day 1 and day 2 picks. I mean, Sauce Gardner at 4th overall, Garrett Wilson 10 overall, Jermaine Johnson, I believe I might be getting this wrong, 26 overall. I might have that wrong, but trading up for Breece Hall in the 2nd round and getting Jeremy Ruckett in the 2nd round, in the 3rd round as well. You surrounding Zach Wilson with talent here with Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Jeremy Ruckett. Boom. 3 great pieces you can add to this offense. Maybe not Jerry Ruckett. He's someone that may need some development as a rookie tight end. But Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall can come in and make an impact day 1. And then you got Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher, one of their biggest needs. They had trouble pressuring the quarterback this past season. The Jets did. And this is a great piece to add later in the first round. And then Sauce Gardner. For fantasy, it may have looked like the Jets were solid at defending wide receivers. And you may think, oh, they don't have too bad of a defensive back room. No, they don't. The only reason players didn't necessarily blow up for fantasy when they played the Jets is because teams would get ahead early on the Jets and then run the ball. And they would take advantage of that horrible run defense the Jets had this past season and just run the ball. Run. Don't pass a lot. And that would inevitably lead to wide receivers not scoring as many fantasy points against the Jets. But if you go back to the games where teams had opportunities to throw on the Jets let up points. The Jets let up yards. Like, they were just a bad defensive back room last year. Sauce Gardner is going to help them out, lock down the number one option for them. So I think they had the best draft, and I don't know. I mean, they got arguably the best player at 3 different positions. Sauce Gardner at corner, Garrett Wilson at wide receiver, Breece Hall at running back. And they got one of the better edge rushers, probably like 4th or 5th best edge rusher, Jermaine Johnson, Jeremy Ruckett, a nice sleeper tight end that you can look at, very athletic. They just had an excellent draft. They didn't give up too much, a trade up or anything. They didn't do anything crazy or give up many big pieces. So they just added a ton of people here that can really make an impact. And if Zach Wilson really starts to take that next step in these next couple of years, the Jets could seriously start winning some games and competing for the playoffs. All right, everybody, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the Footballguys YouTube channel so you will be notified every single time either me or my amazing teammates over here at Footballguys post a new piece of content on this YouTube channel. And next week, we're going to be talking about the draft losers, my 3 least favorite teams from the NFL draft. See you guys next week.